can access Windows operating system at a time. Windows is paid software. Windows developed by Microsoft. Windows developed by Microsoft company. Security features are less in the Windows. Security features are less in Windows OS. Recommended for personal use. Recommended for personal use. So if you want to use a computer for your personal purpose, then you can go for Windows operating system. Windows is single user based operating system. Windows is paid software. Windows developed by Microsoft company, Bill Gates. Security features are less in Windows OS, recommended for personal use. In the industry, we are going to work with Linux operating system. In the industry, we are going to work with Linux operating system. Linux is free and open source operating system. Linux is free and Linux is open source operating system. Linux is multi-user based operating system. Multi-user based operating system. What is the meaning of multi-user based operating system? Multiple users can connect with the Linux machine at a time. Multiple users can connect with the Linux machine at a time. Whereas Windows is single user based operating system, Linux is multi-user based operating system. Got it? And the next one, Linux is having high security features. Security is high in Linux operating system. Linux is recommended. It is recommended for servers. It is recommended for servers, databases, applications execution. Windows is recommended for personal usage. Linux is recommended for installing your servers, running the databases, running the applications. For these purposes, in the companies, we are going to use Linux operating system. Now, Linux is a community-based OS. It is not belongs to any particular company. Linux is community-based operating system. Linux developed by Linux OS developed by which company, guys? Is there any company who developed this Linux, or Linux developed by single person? Linux developed by any person, or Linux developed by any company? A single person. Who is that person? Linus Torvalds. Linus Torvalds is the person who developed this Linux operating system. From 1991, this Linux OS is available. Okay. Now we discussed about how this Linux came into market also. That is a history of the Linux. Fine. Next, we discussed about Linux environment setup. We can install the Linux directly on your machine. We can install using VirtualBox. We can install by using VirtualBox. This concept is called hypervisor. Already you have a computer. In that computer you can install VirtualBox. Oracle VirtualBox will be available, or VMware will be available. Hypervisor or VMware concept will be available. Hypervisor or VMware concept will be available. Within Windows operating system, you can install a virtual machine using hypervisor with VMware. VirtualBox, on top of that you can install Linux. Second one, we can use cloud provided virtual machine. So currently I am using AWS EC2 instance. Instead of installing the Linux in my computer directly, I am creating a Linux machine in the AWS cloud, and I am going to use that Linux machine for our practice purpose. So this is what we have done in the previous session. So in the previous session we discussed about what is operating system, what is Windows operating system, what is Linux operating system, and how to set up a Linux machine for our free course, right? Operating system is a software which acts as a mediator between the users and computer hardware components. Operating system providing user interface to work with the computer. Without operating system, you cannot use any computer. Operating system is mandatory to use any computer. Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, iOS, etc. There are so many operating systems are available in the market. Mainly, people will use Windows operating system and Linux operating system for computers. For mobiles, we are using Android and iOS operating systems. For mobiles, for smartphones, we are using either Android or iOS operating system. For computers, people will prefer either Windows or Linux. Windows is single user based operating system. If you have a personal computer, then you will use Windows operating system. Windows developed by Microsoft. It is a paid software, commercial software. Linux is free and open source. Linux code is also available. That is the reason it is called as open source software. You can also download the source code of the Linux. And one more point we discussed about Linux distributions, guys. Can you guys tell me what is Linux distribution? What are the Linux distributions are available in the market? What is a Linux distribution? Can you tell me quickly? We discussed in the last session. Come on, guys. What is a Linux distribution? What is Linux distribution? Red Hat Linux is available. Red Hat Linux is available. Amazon Linux is available. Amazon Linux is available. Ubuntu is available. CentOS is available. SUSE is available. Kali Linux is available. Kali Linux is available. Debian Linux is available. There are so many Linux distributions are available. Fedora Linux is available. Fedora, etc. Linux, there are so many distributions are available. These are called as Linux flavors or Linux distros or Linux distributions. Linux distributions. Linus Torvalds developed Linux operating system and gave the operating system for free of cost, and he provided source code also for the Linux. Right? So many companies has taken the Linux source code, modified according to their requirement, and released into market with a different name. Released into market with a different name, that is called as Linux distribution. That is called as Linux distribution. So 200 plus distributions are available for Linux operating system. It is not one distribution, guys. There are 200 plus distributions are available for Linux operating system. So note, 200 plus distributions are 200 plus Linux distributions are available. 200 plus Linux distributions are available. Okay, in our course we are going to use one of the distribution called Amazon Linux in the AWS. Are you clear with OS? Distributions of Linux environment setup. You can install the VMware and you can do that setup, or you can use AWS cloud and you can create one virtual machine. Okay, so fine. If anybody don't know how to create a virtual machine, observe carefully. Now, I logged in into my AWS account. Instances running. Currently, no instances are available here. Launch one instance. Launch one instance. It will show like this. To launch one instance, I'm taking one instance as Linux VM. I'm creating one Linux machine using Linux flavor, AWS Linux. Amazon Linux. You can use Ubuntu. You can use Red Hat. You can use SUSE. There are so many distributions are available. I'm going with Amazon Linux. Right? Key pair. Here it is asking to select a key pair. We create. If you don't have a key pair, create it. It will download one PEM file for you. That PEM file is used to connect with the Linux machine securely. Right? Select that key pair. Then you don't need to change anything else. Just select a name. Give the name. Amazon Linux you select. Key pair you select. Then don't change anything else, guys. Just click on launch instance. With this, one Linux machine got created. With this, one Linux machine got created. So the machine is getting ready. You can check the status of the machine. Once this machine got created, you can see a public IP address. Using this public IP address, we can connect with this machine and we can use that machine for our operations. Okay, go to this Linux machine, take the public IP address. I downloaded a key pair and I have a public IP. Fine. Open one software called MobiXtrom. In the MobiXtrom, we can connect with this Linux machine. Using this MobiXtrom, we can connect with this Linux machine. Session, SSH, remote host. If you use Amazon Linux, then default username will be EC2 user. If you use Ubuntu, then username will be Ubuntu. If you use Ubuntu flavor, then your username will be Ubuntu. If you use Amazon Linux, the username will be EC2 user. Then go to SSH settings, take a private key, upload the PEM file, the key pair you have downloaded. Guys, you can take a screenshot of this MobiXtrom. How I am connecting to Linux machine, remote host, nothing but the public IP address of our machine. I created a Linux machine using EC2 service. Public IP address I am taking. Username I am giving as EC2 user. For Amazon Linux instance, default username will be EC2 user. We are using SSH port to connect. If you create Ubuntu machine, username will be Ubuntu. Private key, I am uploading the Linux PEM file. Click on OK. With this, I am able to connect with my Linux machine. Right? Now, Linux machine is available. So the Linux machine that I am using, is it a physical machine or is it a virtual machine? The Linux machine that I am using, is it a physical machine or is it a virtual machine? Can we see that machine with our eyes? No, we cannot see that machine with our eyes. This is virtual machine. Where is this virtual machine running? Where this virtual machine is running now? Where this virtual machine running now? This virtual machine is available in AWS cloud. This virtual machine is available in the AWS cloud. Then people may ask you, sir, do we need to pay the money to use AWS EC2 instances? AWS EC2 instances are free for 1 year. Monthly 750 hours. You can run the instances for free of cost. Daily 24 hours. 24 hours into 30 days, around 720 only. But they are giving you 750 hours free of cost. That means you can run multiple instances also. Total instances execution time should be less than 750 hours in a month. If you create one instance, if you run 24/7 for 30 days also, bill will not be generated. Why? 24 hours into 30 days. How much? It is not equal to 750. It is less than 750 only. 24 hours into 30 days, less than 750 only. So AWS will not charge anything for first 1 year, and monthly 750 hours you can run your instances for free of cost. So this is a virtual machine concept. So with this, my AWS EC2 Linux machine is ready. Now I can learn this Linux concepts by using this virtual machine. Practicals we are going to do on this virtual machine. Yeah, 720 hours. 720 hours. But monthly how many hours they are providing for free? Monthly how many hours they are providing for free? 750 hours. So do you need to worry anything about the billing part now? Do you need to worry anything about the billing part now? No need to worry about it. Happily we can use virtual machine for free of cost. Why I am telling you to set up the machine using this cloud is performance will be speed. If you install hypervisor, if you install VirtualBox, if you install the VirtualBox, then your system will become slow. The people who are having 8 GB RAM, you can try this option, but the people who are having 4 GB RAM in the computer, if you go for this option, your system will become dead slow. Okay guys. So now create an instance in the AWS cloud. For safety purpose, after your practice is completed, you can close that instance. After your practice is completed, you can close those instances to avoid the billing part. I connected with that EC2 instance. Perfect. Now we need to understand how to work with Linux. Now we need to understand how to work with Linux. So first we need to understand the Linux commands, guys. We need to understand the Linux commands. In Linux, everything will be represented as a file. Now if you see in my Windows machine, I have some folders. We call it as a folder. Inside the folder, I have some subfolders. Inside that, I have some files. And I am having a GUI. I can right click on this. I can copy. I can right click on this. I can delete. I can right click on this. I can delete. I can do Control Z. Right this. You have user interface in the Windows to perform these operations. But for this virtual machine, do we have a user interface? No. Everything we will manage from CLI. In the Windows, if I want to create a file, I will right click on my mouse, new text document, one file is created. Inside that file, I will open and I will write some data in the file. You can see everything. Now I can select this data, I can copy, I can paste. I can paste my data like this. I can select the data, I can delete it also. I have file save option. I have save as. I can rename this file. Right click, rename. I can rename this file abc.txt. So in the Windows, everything we will perform using one user interface. Everything we will perform by using one user interface. But currently I am using a Linux virtual machine. I cannot see that machine with my eyes. Then how to perform operations in the Linux, how to create a file in the Linux, how to write the data to the file, how to copy the data, how to rename the file, how to see the files available, how to see the directories available, how to download a software, how to install a software, how to run a Java program, how to run the Tomcat server, how to install Docker, how to install Jenkins. In the real time, we are going to use Linux machines only to manage our project. Then how to work with Linux machine in the company, that we are going to learn as part of this course. People are asking, sir, I am a Java developer. Do I need to learn the Linux? Sir, I am a Python developer. Do I need to learn the Linux? Sir, I am a front-end developer. Do I need to learn the Linux? For every software engineer, Linux is required. For every software engineer, Linux is required. Because tomorrow in the company, we are going to work with Linux machines only. Our projects will be deployed on the Linux machines. Our servers will be installed on the Linux machines. Our application log files will be generated on the Linux machines. So every work related to the project will be happening on the Linux machine. So if you know this Linux, then it would be easy for you to survive in the company as a developer or as a DevOps engineer or as a cloud engineer. This Linux knowledge is very, very, very important. Okay? Very good. Next, Linux commands. Right? In Linux, everything will be represented as a file. In Linux, everything will be represented as a file. Linux VM is CLI based. Linux VM we will use with the commands. Right? Virtual machine is available. I am going to use commands to operate my Linux machine. Whatever you do in the Windows using user interface, same thing we can do on the Linux by using commands. Right? What are the commands? Let us try to understand how to work with Linux commands today. Right? In Linux, everything will be represented as a file. So what type of files will be available in the Linux? Normal files will be available. Those are called as the text files. And we are going to create directory files, normal files nothing but text files, and we will be having directory files. Directories will be available. Directories nothing but folders in our Windows machine. Right, you see, I have a folder called classes. Inside the classes, all my batches folders are available. 01 DevOps, 02 DevOps, 03, 04, 16 SBMS, 19 JRTP, 20 JRTP, 21 JRTP, Angular Workshop. These all are folders. Inside these folders, again subfolders are available. Inside these folders, again subfolders are available. Inside that, files are available. So these are folders in the Windows. In the Linux, we will call everything as a file. Some files are called as normal files and some files are called as directory files. Directory is equal to a folder in the Windows. Directory is equal to a folder in the Windows. Linux VM, we will operate with the commands. Linux VM, we will operate with commands, that is CLI based. For the Windows, you have GUI. For the Linux VM, we are using CLI. In Linux, everything will be represented as a file. Normal files are available and directory files are available. Now, guys, see how to work with these files and directories, right? The first one, we are going to use a command called Mkdir, which is used to create a directory. Suppose if I want to create a folder in the Windows, I'm going to use right click, new folder. I can create one folder like this in the Windows, right? This is my folder. Same way, how to create a folder in the Linux? To create a folder in the Linux, we are going to use a command called Mkdir. If I want to delete that directory, I'm going to use rmdir directory name. Mkdir, rmdir. Mkdir is used to make directory, create a directory. Rmdir, delete the directory. If you want to display all the files and directories, ls-l command we are going to use to display all the files and directories in the present working directory. Okay, fine. Let me show all the files and directories which are currently available. ls-l. When I do ls nothing but list. ls-l, do I have anything currently in my present working directory? What is my present working directory? pwd. Inside this Linux, everything will start from root, /root, home. Inside the home directory, I have EC2 user directory. Inside the EC2 user, I don't have any content. ls-l, nothing is available. I want to create one directory, mkdir linux. Yes, ls-l. Now you can see one directory is created with a name called Linux. Similarly, mkdir AWS. ls-l. One more directory created with a name called AWS. Let me create one more directory, mkdir DevOps. ls-l. I am able to create 3 directories in the Linux. How I created these directories? Which command I am using to create the directories? Mkdir, make directory. How to delete the directory? To delete the directory, we are using rmdir. Rmdir we will use if the directory is empty. If the directory doesn't have any data, then we can delete it. rmdir DevOps. I have deleted ls-l. Now see, earlier there are 3 directories are available. Now we are having only 2 directories. The reason I removed one directory by using rmdir. Similarly, delete that AWS also, rmdir AWS. Now ls-l, I'm able to see only Linux directory now. So you understood how to create a directory and how to delete the directory? How to create a directory and how to create the directory? Yes, we are able to delete the directory. We are able to create the directory and we are able to delete the directory. Now, what is my present working directory? pwd to display present working directory. What is the command to display the path? If you see currently what is my path, where I am pointing, if you select this, it will display C, users, Ashok, classes. So this is my present working directory in the Windows. This is my present working directory in the Windows. If I go here, it will display like this. C, users, Ashok, classes, 04 DevOps. This is the location of my present working directory. Similarly, how to see the present working directory in our Linux? There is a command called pwd. When you execute pwd command, it will display your present working directory. What is your present working directory? /home/ec2 user. Currently you are pointing to this location in the Linux virtual machine. Present working directory will print your current pwd command will print your present working directory. Is this clear for all of you? pwd will print your present working directory. Okay, now ls-l. In my present working directory, I created one more directory called Linux directory. How can I go inside the Linux directory? See in the Windows, I am having several folders. I want to go inside the folder and I want to create a file. Double click on this, then you are inside the folder. If you want to come out from the folder, there is an arrow, go back. Double click, go inside. Arrow, go back. Double click, go inside. So this is called change directory. I am going back to one directory. I am going inside one directory. This is called change directory. In the Windows, you have a GUI so that you can click on this arrow, you can come back. And you can double click on this folder, you can go inside. That is the beauty of the Windows. Users can access the computers easily by using this GUI. That's why people will prefer Windows for personal usage. Okay, if I want to go back to one directory, I have a arrow button. If I want to go inside the directory, double click on this directory. But same thing, if I want to do in the Linux, what is my present working directory? My present working directory EC2 user. Can you double click here? Can you double click? Do I have that user interface? How I am using my Linux now? How I am using my Linux now? Am I using Linux with GUI? I am using Linux with CLI. I'm using Linux with CLI. And how to operate this Linux with CLI? Commands. Those are the commands we are learning. So what is the command to create a directory? Mkdir. What is the purpose of Mkdir? Mkdir is used to make one directory. Mkdir is used to make one directory. How to delete the directory? rmdir. rmdir. What is the purpose of ls-l command? What is the purpose of ls-l command? To list the files and directories available in the present working directory. Now I want to change the directory. cd space Linux. cd change directory. cd command I am using to change the directory. cd space Linux. Now see the present working directory. Earlier my present working directory /home/ec2 user. But currently what is my present working directory? /home/ec2 user/Linux. So earlier my present working directory /home/ec2 user. My present working directory /home/ec2 user/Linux. Am I able to go inside one directory by using cd command? cd space Linux. I want to come out from the Linux directory. cd space ... cd space ... to come one step back. To come one step back, I'm using cd space ... Now see the present working directory. My present working directory /home/ec2 user. Let me come one more step back. cd space ... Now see the present working directory. I am currently in the /home directory. If I want to go inside that ec2 user, cd space ec2 user. If I want to go inside the Linux, cd space Linux. Now see present working directory. I am inside this directory. Are you clear with my point? how to change the directory, how to go inside the directory, how to come out from the directory. CD directory name to go inside the directory, CD space dot dot to come one step back. Are you guys clear? Mkdir make the directory, rmdir remove the directory, ls-l list the files and directories. Everything is a file. Some files contains the data, some files are directories. The files which contains the data, they are called as text files. The files which contains other, directory is nothing but folders. One directory can contain other directory also. So are you able to understand how to work with CD, change directory, going inside the directory, coming out from the directory? CD commands. Now currently I am in the Linux directory. Directly I want to go to home directory. Can I go 2 steps back at a time? Can I go 2 steps back at a time? What is my present working directory? Linux. I want to go inside home. CD space dot dot. If I give dot dot 1 step, then I will go to EC2 user. From EC2 user, I want to go back to home / dot dot. CD space dot dot / dot dot. How many steps I am going back? How many steps I am going back? 2 steps. Now see present working directory. Am I able to go to home directory directly from the Linux directory? From the Linux, I directly went to home directory. How I went to 2 steps back at a time? CD space dot dot / dot dot. Can I go 2 steps forward at a time? Can I go 2 steps forward at a time? Come on. CD space, what is the directory? EC2 user. Inside the EC2 user I have a Linux. Guys, if you see, I am not typing everything. I am typing EC. I am clicking on tab. When I click on tab, that name is coming automatically. That file name is coming automatically. Then if I type L, if I type tab, that name is coming automatically. CD space EC2 user / Linux. At a time, 2 steps forward. Like this, can I go multiple steps forward, multiple steps backward? Yes, you can do that. What is the command we are using? CD command we are using to change the directory. Either you can go in the forward direction or you can go in the backward direction also. You can go in the forward direction as well as you can go in the backward direction also. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with the commands which I have given now? Are you comfortable with the commands which I have given now? Anybody not able to understand? Anybody not able to understand? Please respond in the chat, guys. Please respond in the chat box. You understood. Perfect. Mkdir, rmdir, ls-l, pwd, cd, space directory name, cd space dot dot. Perfect. Next one. CD dot dot. To come backward, Manoj. To come 1 step backward, we are going for CD. Currently, where I am pointing now? Where I am pointing now? /home /EC2 user /Linux. Okay? I want to come from this Linux to previous directory, back directory. I want to come back. CD space dot dot. I came back to EC2 user. If I want to go from EC2 to this Linux, CD space Linux. Now I am able to go forward and backward. Okay, what is the purpose of Mkdir? To make directory. What is the purpose of rmdir? To delete empty directory. ls-l to list all files and directories. To list all files and directories in present working directory. From the present working directory, it will print everything. pwd to print present working directory. to print present working directory. CD space directory name to move inside the directory. To move inside the directory. CD space dot dot to come out from the directory. To come out from the directory, we are using CD dot dot. You guys no need to write the notes. I am writing the notes for you. I will upload these notes after the class is completed. You guys no need to write the notes. I will upload the notes into our website. I told you how to access the notes also in our website. I will give you these notes. You join in the group. I send in the chat box. I will tell you how to access this class notes also. You no need to write the running notes. You just concentrate on the class. You just concentrate on the class. Observe what commands I am writing. I am writing the command syntax and I am writing the description also, so that you can read this notes after class is completed for your practice purpose. You just join in this group. I sent you a link in the chat box. There you will get the details how to access the class notes and videos of these classes. Okay? Perfect. Perfect. Next one. I want to create some files now. We are able to create the directories, make directory, remove directory, CD, go inside the directory, come out from the directory. We are able to do everything. Next one, how to work with files. How to work with files in the Linux. Okay guys, in order to work with the files in the Linux, what we do, there are some commands available to create a files. What are the commands available to create the files in the Linux? We can create the file in two ways. One is by using touch command. Sorry, multiple ways are there, sir, not only two ways. You can use a touch command. You can use a cat command. You can use a VI command also to create the files. VI command, I will explain in the tomorrow session. Today, we are going to see touch command and cat commands. Right? Now, can you see ls-l currently? Do I have any data in this Linux directory? ls-l. Do I have any data in my Linux directory currently? No, 0. Nothing is available. It is empty directory. It is empty directory. Okay, this is empty directory. I want to create a file. To create a file in the Linux, we can use touch, f1.txt, touch command. Touch is used to create one empty file. Touch is used to create one empty file. ls-l, you see, one file got created with a name called f1.txt. f1.txt, a file is created. Let me create one more file, f2.txt. f2.txt. Can I create multiple empty files at a time? f3.txt space f4.txt space f5.txt. Okay, ls-l. Can you see? I created multiple files by using touch command. What is the purpose of touch command? Touch command is used to create empty files. To create empty files, we are going for touch space file name. Touch space file name, it is used to create one empty file. Okay guys, now sir, I don't want to create a empty file. I want to create a file with some content. I want to create a file with some content. I will show you how to create it also. Can I create multiple files? Create multiple empty files at a time? To create multiple empty files, can I use like this? Touch f1.txt, f2.txt, f3.txt like this. To create one empty file, you can give touch file name. To create multiple empty files, touch f1.txt space f2.txt space f3.txt. Multiple empty files got created using this touch command. Okay guys, now how to create a file with some content? How to create a file with some content? Observe carefully. Cat command I am going to use. Cat arrow, single arrow, cat single arrow. I mean to say, I can say that this is greater than symbol. Cat greater than file name, ashokit.txt. Cat greater than ashokit.txt. I am creating a file using cat command. Single greater than symbol I am using. Cat greater than ashokit.txt. It will ask the content. Ashokit is a best software training institute. Right? I am writing some data. It is located at Amirpet, Hyderabad. It is located at Amirpet, Hyderabad. Contact us. I am writing some data. Inside this file. I am writing some data in this file. So keep on writing the data. How can I close this file now? Control D. When I press Control D, file got closed. ls-l. Now see, ashokit.txt file also created. How to see the content of the file? Cat space file name. Cat. If you give cat file name, it will print the content of the file. If you want to create a new file with content, cat greater than file name. It will ask you to write the data directly in the terminal. Once you complete your data, then press Ctrl D. That file will be closed. Your data will be saved and your file will be closed. ls-l. You are able to see the file which is created. How to open the file content, or how to read the file content, how to print the file content? Cat space file name. If I do cat space file name, the file content it is printing. Okay guys. Now create file with content. To create a file with content, cat space file name. Cat greater than file name. I am giving a file name as f1.txt. It will ask you to write the data. Note, after writing data, press Ctrl D. To save and close that file. Create file with content. Cat greater than file name. After writing the data, press Ctrl D to save and close that file. Let me create one more file here, guys. Cat greater than aws.txt. I want to create a file with a name called aws.txt. Let me see first. Is there any file with a name called aws.txt? Currently, do we have any file with a name called aws.txt? In my present working directory. Do we have any file with a name called aws.txt? No. How many ways I can create the files now? Come on. How many ways I can create the files now? 2 ways. How many ways we discussed as of now? 2 ways. One is by using touch command. Another one is by using cat command. What is the difference between touch command and cat command? What is the difference between touch command and cat command? Touch is used to create an empty file. Cat command is used to create the file with content. To create file with data. To create an empty file, we will use a touch command. To create file with data, we will use cat command. Got my point? Alright. Now, currently, there is no file with a name called aws.txt. Let me create a file with that name. Cat greater than aws.txt. It is asking me to write the data. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. That's it. I want to close this file now. How can I save the content and how can I close the file? How can I close this file? Control D. Control D if you press, that file got closed. Okay, how can I print the file content? How to print the content of the file? PWD. PWD to print present working directory data. How to print file data? Cat file name, cat space aws.txt. Can you see? When I do cat aws.txt, is it printing the file content? I have not given enter, that's the reason it is printing in the same line. Alright. Suppose I want to write some more data into that file. Let's see here. Cat greater than aws.txt. Amazon providing IT infrastructure. AWS providing IT infrastructure. Control D. Cat AWS. Oh, whatever the data I stored previously, my previous data is available or previous data is not available now. Previous data is available, previous data is not available now. Previous data is available or previous data not available? Not available. So that means what it will do? Create a file with data, cat greater than. Always it is going to create a new file. If the file is already available, it is replacing that data with new data. It is replacing that old data with the new data. So when I create a file like this, old data will be available, old data will not be available. Old data will be available or old data will not be available. Come on, old data will not be available. How can I maintain the old data? I don't want to remove my old data. I want to append my data. Samjhe? Cat aws.txt. It is printing the data. Now I want to append the data. I don't want to delete old data. I want to append the data. Cat double greater than. What is the symbol, guys? If you give single greater than, it will replace the data. If you give double greater than, it will append the data at the bottom. Are you clear? Cat aws.txt. Right. AWS providing 200 plus services. Control D. Cat aws.txt. Can you see? Old data is available and new data is also available. What is the difference between single greater than symbol and double greater than symbol? Come on, guys. Append data to existing file. Cat double arrow f1.txt. If you use a single arrow, वो क्या करेगा? If you use a single arrow, वो क्या करेगा भाई? Single means create a file and write the data. If the file is already available, it will replace the old data with the new data. If you want to just append the data, I don't want to delete the data, I just want to append the data. Then we need to go for cat double arrow. How to print file data? How to print file data? What is the command? Cat space file name. What is the command to print the file data? Cat. So 3 flavors we are using. Cat with the file name, cat with the single arrow and file name, cat double arrow file name. Cat file name will print file data. Cat arrow file name create file with data. Old data will be removed. Okay. Old data will be removed. If you just want to append the data, cat double arrow. If you want to print the data, cat command. Are you clear? Are you clear? Very good. Now, I want to I want to delete one file, guys. ls-l. There are some files are available. I want to delete one file called f5.txt. To delete a file, rm f5.txt. ls-l. Can you see f5.txt got deleted now? Can you see f5.txt got deleted now? Yes. Similarly, let me print again ls-l. f4 is available. I want to delete it. rm f4.txt. f4 rm.txt. ls-l. ls-l. Okay. Now there are only 5 files are available. There are only 5 files are available. How to delete a file? How to delete a file? To delete a file, what is the command we are using? rm file name. rm file name. Good. Now see the commands. mkdir, rmdir, ls-l, pwd, cd double dot, touch, cat single arrow, cat double arrow, cat file name, rm file name. Now let's come back. Currently, what is my present working directory? What is my present working directory? ls-l. Okay, for this ls-l, you can pass ls-t, ls-lt. LT means based on the timestamp it is going to display. Based on the timestamp it is going to display. ls-lr in the reverse order. By default, when you go for ls-l, it will print the files and directories in the alphabetical order. It will print the files and directories in the alphabetical order. If you want to print them in the reverse of alphabetical, order, how can I print them in the reverse of alphabetical order? LR. If I want to print the files based on the created date and timestamp, ls-lt. Recent files will display on the top. When you give -lt, recent files will display on the top. If I give ls-ltr, old files will come to the top. I mean in the reverse order. ls-lt, ls-lr, ls-ltr, ls-rlt, tlr, same. The arguments you can change. ls-tlr, that arguments you can change. Okay. ltr, you can give those arguments for ls. ls is used to list. Now cd double dot, what is my present working directory? EC2 user. ls-l Linux. I'm going to print the content of a particular directory by using ls. What is my present working directory? Home EC2 user. ls-l, it is printing just Linux. My present working directory /home/EC2 user. /home/EC2 user. Inside the present working directory, what files are available? Linux available as a directory. Okay. Sir, how to understand whether it is a normal file or it is a directory file? How to understand which is a normal file or a directory file? Whenever you do ls-l, if that is starting with the character D, that means it is a directory. If a file is starting with character D, that means it is a directory. Can you see in the first line? When I do ls-l, what is the first line it is printing? D. What is the meaning of that D? That means it is a directory. ls-l Linux. Now, for the normal files, do we have that D option or we have -? If the line is starting with -, that means it is a normal text file, normal file. If the line is starting with D, that means it is a directory file. In the line X, everything will be represented as a file only. Some files are normal files and some files are directory files. Directory files will start with D and the normal files will start with hyphen when you do ls-l. Can I print the content of a particular directory? Can I print the content of a particular directory? ls-l directory name. What is there in that directory? I want to print it. What is my present working directory? I am in the EC2 user. ls-l. In the EC2 user directory, Linux directory available. What is there inside the Linux? I want to print it. ls-l space Linux. It is printing what is there inside the Linux. Very good. Fine. Now, pwd EC2 user ls-l Linux. Guys, I want to delete this Linux directory. Can you tell me the command to delete a directory? Can you tell me the command to delete a directory? How to delete a command in the directory? How to delete a directory? What is the command? rmdir. Let's try. rmdir Linux. Is it deleted? Is it working? Not working. Why? Can you read the error? Can you read the error? Why it is not working? Not empty. So when we can use rmdir? When we can use rmdir? For empty directory. For empty directory, we can use rmdir. But my Linux directory is empty, or my Linux directory is not empty. My Linux directory is empty, or my Linux directory is not empty. My Linux directory is not empty. So then how can I delete it? How can I delete it now? We need to go for rm. Let's try rm Linux. When I execute rm Linux, what it is asking? Linux is a directory. Linux is a directory. Cannot remove Linux is a directory. What we need to do now? rm-r Linux. Now see, if you want to delete a file, rm file name. If you want to delete empty directory, rmdir. If you want to delete non-empty directory, if the directory contains some data, we need to delete the data first. Then we need to delete the directory. To delete the data and directory, we need to go for -r recursive. Recursively, I want to delete the directory content, then finally delete the directory. Understood? How to delete empty directory and how to delete non-empty directories? How to delete empty directory? rmdir. How to delete non-empty directory? rm-r. What is -r? What is -r? What is -r? Recursive. Why we are using recursive? Delete the content first, then delete the directory. Okay? So to delete non-empty directories, we are using rm-r. To delete non-empty directories. To delete non-empty directories, rm-r directory name. -r represents recursive. -r represents recursive. It is going to delete the content and it is going to delete the directory also. Very good. Now I want to rename a file. I want to rename a file. cd space, what is my present working directory? EC2 user. I deleted the Linux, right? Now, okay. Let me create a file. Let me create a file. cat aws.txt AWS Cloud, Amazon Web Services,